the last couple of days, Verizon announced that they have expanded their 5G smart city network in Houston to mobile. So it's over there by the soccer stadium. It's by Minute Maid Park and a few other spots like that, slowly expanding around the city. And while that's going on, activists over in San Diego, who already have some of this smart city technology, are raising awareness about the smart lights that they've put out there. And these have also been put in places around Houston. I don't know that they're outfitted with the same software that they are in San Diego, but these, quote, smart street lights are supposed to be, brighter and things of that sort, but they can also be outfitted with technology that can either, call them shotgun detectors, like say in an area where there might be violent crime. If they detect a shotgun or a gunshot, they automatically start recording, but we've already seen in the years past that they can record all the time, so conversations of people walking nearby. And it's been nearly 3 years since San Diego approved the project, which was initially presented as a cost-saving plan to replace lights on some 8,000 poles with energy-efficient LED lighting. But in addition to those energy-efficient LED lights, they also added these sensors, 4,200 street light poles with cameras, microphones, and other technology that collect data, pedestrian and vehicle movements, parking availability, temperature, humidity, and other real-time data that is being used by the police, by public safety, and elsewhere. And we now know that San Diego police have access to the videos, which were used in more than 160 investigations between August 2018 and September 2009. So some folks would see this and say, okay, well, it sounds like the presence of those computers or cameras and recording devices are making it easier for the police to catch bad guys. But Micah, haven't we been told in the past that just giving the authorities, ability to do whatever they want in order to catch bad guys doesn't usually end up good for those who care about freedom? I mean, it seems like they kind of take whatever they can.
Give them an inch, take a mile.
Give them an inch, and they will take what they can. Give you another one here. This is coming from New York Times. Georgetown University School of Law privacy expert Claire Garvey warns about facial recognition technology. And she says, quote, "We've become increasingly comfortable with facial recognition technology. We use it to unlock our phones and skip the security line at the airport. But the convenience of facial recognition is blinding us to its dangers." Claire Garvey put together a video that explains why you should be concerned about the growing use of this tech, even if you think you have, quote, nothing to hide. According to her, police databases now contain images of nearly half of all Americans. She argues that without some restrictions on facial recognition, we are rapidly hurtling towards a Chinese-style surveillance state. As she puts it, Americans are basically in a perpetual police lineup, the digital equivalent of police walking through a crowd and yanking each of our IDs out of our pockets. You could be picked out, investigated, possibly arrested, and sent to jail. And that's a violation of your privacy and your Fourth Amendment protection against unreasonable search, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. That one, and then one other surveillance one I'll throw at you guys, just to get you thinking about all of the stuff surrounding us: facial recognition, smart streetlights, and this one, 5 different U.S. senators demanding that Amazon disclose how Ring, which is their brand name for the doorbell camera, which is becoming increasingly popular in certain neighborhoods around Houston. I noticed this while I was campaigning, while we were out there block walking, how many houses have the rings on their houses now. I didn't realize. I'm kind of a hermit, so I don't go out often.
Sometimes, yeah.
I go out and I'm like, oh my God, the technology is everywhere.
It's a lot.
It's so
a lot
fast.
of people have it. My parents have it.
Yeah, I mean, it's so tell your parents about this. So U.S. lawmakers are demanding that Amazon tell them more about Ring. Of course, Amazon owns Ring, who is producing the majority of these. Amazon's surveillance network, which is it's a facial recognition database known as Recognition with a K. And the lawmakers are basically saying we need to know what Amazon has, what they're using this data with, because it's kind of created this backdoor where instead of, for example, if a cop wanted to get, some footage from your camera and your house or something, he'd have to get a warrant if he wanted to come in your house and see anything. But in this case, since Amazon is already partnering with law enforcement using Recognition, their facial recognition software, they're basically backdooring giving the cops access to Ring. People are voluntarily using the thing and they're scooping up the data and then they're giving it to the cops.
There's some kind of terms and conditions that say it in there.
Well, you're basically agreeing that they can take whatever they record there and use it how they want. And so the cops don't have to go to a judge to get a warrant. Instead, they can just go directly to Amazon. And the other thing is now Amazon's talking about outfitting these Ring doorbell cameras with facial recognition software, which would essentially be, imagine just everywhere you walk, it's just like tracking you and your face. And again, the police can just access that and just keep growing. The FBI already has a facial recognition database that covers the majority of Americans that they've been keeping secret for years and won't reveal anything about. So this is kind of an indirect way. And in cities like Detroit, where there has been high crime, they've started projects called the Green Light Project, where they'll tell businesses who have been robbed in the past, like, hey, we're going to put a green light above your door, and that'll let people know that you have a camera that is being fed to a 24-hour CCTV circuit that the police have access to. And so it's supposed to encourage safetyness in the community. And HPD has a real-time crime center that operates in a similar way. We don't yet have the Green Light program where they're encouraging businesses to give the cops access to their cameras, and it's voluntarily so far. But the Ring doorbell thing is basically the same thing. People are voluntarily putting them on to keep their homes safe. I've had people tell me that they've caught criminals, coming by their house and things like that. But now we have lawmakers sending a letter to Jeff Bezos, CEO of Amazon, asking them to discuss the public and potential security vulnerabilities in Ring system and the sharing of Americans' home security footage with research and development teams. So
is this not kind of like 1984, where we're going to need just to find that little corner of our room? We're not being surveilled, because it's just, regardless of whatever they might want to use it for, it's still, it's just kind of weird.
In 1984, he talked about the telescreens that were just this flat
you can
screen,
never turn them off, right?
But it's a smart TV that we know is listening.
We got the
time,
Samsung wall now.
Yeah, the Samsung wall, and all the documents are out that we know that these devices
and now the street poles
can
have
monitor
ears,
you, and listen
Alexa
to you.
and all that.
So in a lot of ways, it's being done voluntarily. I'm going to wrap this story up real quick and just read the letter. It says, quote, millions of consumers use Ring's products and services, which include internet-connected video doorbells, spotlight cameras, and alarm systems. Ring's devices routinely upload data, including video records, to Amazon's servers. Amazon, therefore, holds a vast amount of deeply sensitive data and video footage detailing the lives of Americans in and near their homes. If hackers or foreign actors were to gain access to this data, it would not only threaten the privacy and safety of the impacted Americans, it could also threaten U.S. national security. The letter says, by foreign intelligence services that might amplify the impact of espionage and influence operations. So, yeah, just showing you that there's some realistic concerns around this technology. And we're right here at Black Fridays next week, right? So next week when we're having the show, people are going to be at the stores throwing this stuff in their baskets, throwing an Alexa in their basket, throwing the smart TV in the Ring and all this stuff. And it's, they're the hot commodities that everybody wants.
Yeah, I actually just had a strange thought. Mikey, you might remember from last week, we were talking about, what was it? We were talking about how a lot of the cops end up going after, petty criminals to kind of pay the bills with their quotas and things like that. Imagine with this technology, it might not even necessarily be targeted towards the big crimes, but they might be able to get everyone who's avoiding their speeding tickets and all that kind of stuff in a streamlined way.
Yeah, definitely at least know when you're there to go serve you your warrants or whatever, That's
what I'm saying. It'd be interesting to see if they would focus on that aspect more.
And the other thing about the hacker stuff, and then I'll move on from this and throw it your way, Micah, that there's a couple of websites you can find, and they're not even on like the quote-unquote dark web, deep web, whatever, but just websites where you can watch people's devices. So a lot of these things are unsecured, and if you don't know how to encrypt them, which isn't too difficult, but most people don't take any extra effort. So I'm talking about like the baby camera that's in the other room, the doorbell camera, and there's literally websites where you can just cycle through different live feeds of people's like bedrooms or whatever that are open that people have hacked, and that you can literally just like, no, go to the next one, go to the next
monitors,
one. Baby monitors, like, doorbell cameras, CCTVs, and just different. You'll see like a warehouse. There's nothing going on, but you could literally just click through there because
maybe you want to look at what's going on in Guam.
Yeah, whatever. And because they're so they're not encrypted, they're not protected, and you have agencies like the FBI out there saying that the people shouldn't have access to encryption because it's encouraging terrorism.
Stop us from seeing.
So,
I mean, then like a Fourth Amendment might mean something, right? You might have
being able to protect yourself.
Yeah, say come back with a warrant.
Hey everyone, this is Derrick with the Conscious Resistance Network. You just watched a clip from Freethinker Radio, my weekly radio show that I host on Fridays and Mondays here in Houston on 90.1 FM Houston. We're going to start doing a live broadcast of that on video for those of you on YouTube, maybe beginning this week, but for sure in the near future. If you want to catch those episodes, though, I always post the archives here on the channel. And I want to remind you guys that we are running in the last days of the Support the Future of the Conscious Resistance Network crowdfunding campaign. We've currently raised $445. If anybody else is interested in investing in this campaign, which is helping me write the next documentary, our 5G Trojan Horse documentary, as well as my next book, How to Opt Out of the Technocratic State, all of this work is being done with your support. So if you want to be an investor in those projects, as well as my update on the Epstein story, update on the Finders story, and all these upcoming projects, please check out the link in the description below the video. Thank you for your support, and until next time, Remember, you are powerful, you are beautiful, you are free. Peace.